All right, my dudes. Today, for your viewing pleasure, is Ultra Beast Arcade. You can see me demonstrate here that I got the difficulty at normal. Playing this on the MiSTer. Going to be a 1 credit clear here. And I wanted to show this intro because of these eyeballs right here. I always thought this was super cool how they had those eyeballs. I mean, this is 1988 that this came out. Like, nothing was looking as good back then. I mean, people were playing Pac-Man and Galaga. And to see that in the arcade and then to see this, I believe this is a System 16 game. We're getting started here, by the way, so I'm playing now. But yeah, the System 16 hardware, Shinobi, there's that, I want to call it Thunder Force, that helicopter game, and then Altered Beast. They just look amazing compared to the other games coming out at that time. There's a lot of sprite scaling, big, huge sprites. Check out this dude's arm, like compared to his head. Like that shit looks silly. And this is kind of a silly game. It's like the ending cutscenes are silly. It's a little over the top with the graphics. Look at that cutscene right there. Like all the animation into that transformation right there is badass, man. So this dude transforms into werewolves, and then a dragon, and a bear, and a tiger, and then a special golden werewolf. And the werewolf cutscenes, the golden one and then this brown one, are more detailed than the other ones. Like they really put in the effort. And I wonder if they were influenced by werewolf movies that, you know, they'd have a cool transformation scene like Werewolf of London and whatnot. It's like, so this video game's got kind of a horror theme vibe to it, you know, with all the grotesque monsters you fight. And then also it's got this Greek god thing going, like maybe like Clash of the Titans or something like that. And so that art design coupled with the fact that it's Sega, I love Sega. This game was pivotal on the Sega Genesis. Like it checks all the boxes for me. This is one of my favorite games. Not gonna say how good it is just because of all of the art and the history and the Sega and the da-da-da-da-da. So check this out right here. We just beat the first level. I will talk about the game here in a minute. But so this is what I think's going on. You see that little spiral that spun around the screen? I think that's that princess that's captured, like sending you magic power. And the magic power goes into these white wolves. And the wolves are the chief difficulty in this game. This is not a hard game, but the hardest part of it is these wolves. So here they come. The brown, there's usually like 2 browns and then a white one. And if you get all 3 of them, you transform into the beast and you can fight the boss at the end. But if you don't get all 3 of them, if you just miss one of them, which I think I'm going to do on this level, if you miss one of them, then you got to go through like a second loop of the same level. And there's no extends in this game, so you don't get extra points for going through the second loop. Your health is basically fixed. See, I missed one. So it's really pivotal. I can't say that word. It's very important that you get all 3 wolves. And I didn't map or route this game out to go through the second loops of the levels. So I'll typically reset it if I don't get all 3. So here's the boss. And I didn't get all 3 of the power-ups. So he's going to go away. And I'm going to have to go through a whole nother loop of the game. Luckily, this level has the least dangerous enemies. So I didn't restart it here. But typically, I would restart it if I was on the 3rd level or even the 1st level if I missed one of them. But so now I got my power up and I can just womp through all these enemies. Yeah, notice there wasn't as much transformation going on with that transformation cutscene. There was less frames of animation. So yeah, let's talk about this game. Like you might have seen earlier, I let those wolves jump on my head. If things jump on your head or they contact your body in certain ways, you won't take damage. And I use that to my advantage in some circumstances. Notice I'm not even trying to get that power up. The points mean nothing to me in this game. There's no extends. You get 3 health bars per life and you get 3 lives, and that's all you get to go through the whole game. So that's another point why, you know, going through like a second loop is just too much. Like you're going to take too much damage. Or you could route out other loops of this game. That would be kind of interesting, you know, to say like, oh, I'm going to play through Alter Beast second loop on every level, because the game is very short. You can probably get through it in like 10 minutes. All the bosses can be cheesed. Like, see, I just camp in that one spot right there, and he's beat. All the enemies are fairly easy. There's tricks to them. Basically, you just rush on them and attack them. If you don't get close enough to them, if you miss and whiff, they're going to hit you. And there's a couple enemies that are really worrisome, like the ghouls with the horns. I'll show you when we get to them. But basically, this game, you just need to memorize everything. Like, you just go through it the same way. The enemies always pop up in the same spots, and you just memorize it and get through it. And it's only 10 minutes, so it's not hard. I beat this in a weekend. I've seen a guy, I forget his name, but he got through it without taking a hit, which is totally doable. Oh, those guys there that I just hit, like, those guys worry me, because if they punch you, they'll just take out like a whole life in one hit. They'll just punch you like 3 times and kill you. But yeah, like, basically, I don't worry about the enemies in this game. They're pretty easy once you route them out. It's really just those wolves and timing it. And the wolves will hop in certain patterns, and that's really the difficult spot, is figuring out how you're going to get through those waves of wolves and having to time everything. Yeah, look at this bear. He just kind of walks around goofy. And those ants, they got a little bit of phallic symbol going on there, running around with their ding-dongs pointing up. Like, see that sprite scaling? Like, I don't think you get that in the Sega Genesis. Like, that was one feature of the System 16 hardware. And what is going on here with this boss? Like, you see, like, that pumping going on when I blow my bear smoke into him? Like, this is just goofy. Like, I guess he's taking hits when you're blowing your bear smoke into him. And, like, what's up with the bear smoke? Like, his breath is damaging? Is it stinky? I don't know. He walks around kind of goofy. Look at that walk animation. Yeah, it's kind of goofy. The game doesn't take itself too seriously. You got that oversized muscle arm. Like, the whole world was enchanted with muscles back in the late 80s after Arnold and the MiSTer universe and Predator movies and everything. All the comic books were all muscled out. Yeah, so you got the kicks in this game and the punches. I tend to use the kicks. I've seen other guys like to duck and punch. Oh, you see right there how I jumped up and I hit him like 3 times. If you jump and hit the attack, you can get multiple hits out. If you're on the ground, you can't do that. You have to time it a certain way. And I use that in a couple instances in this game, like to jump and get out multiple hits. But I tried utilizing it, and I was never able to really utilize it too much, because if you jump on these normal enemies, like these dudes with the skull here, like, you'll typically whiff if you try to jump and hit them, or even these skeleton ghouls. This part was probably the hardest part in the game for me. This wave here. I spent like a considerable amount of time like trying to figure out how to get through that spot there. You know, consistently, because you got to be able, you don't want to, if you miss that white wolf there, like, you're hitting reset. You're not getting through this part of the game through a second loop of this. Oh, hey, you see that blue rhino dude in the background there? That's the last boss. But, yeah, we'll be getting to him in a minute here. Yeah, I like how that skeleton, like, giggles that dude's holding. And you see how that dude explodes when you blow him up? It's like you can see his carcass and everything. It's pretty cool. Saw a whale carcass on the beach yesterday, guys. I was out surfing at Halama, and there was like a 30-foot whale, and I asked this dude, I'm like, is that a giant squid? And I felt kind of retarded because, like, it's not a fucking giant squid. What are the chances? But it was a big old, like, reddish brown, like, discolored whale that like vultures were chewing on it and everything. It was kind of cool. You could still make out its tail. But yeah, check this dude out here. He's kind of cute. He's like a little crocodilio. He's super easy. I mean, those like little red dragons kind of look like the green dragon you turn into. I just noticed that now. I think this gold tiger dude is probably my favorite dude in the game. Like how you can jump and attack up is kind of fun to do. But yeah, I mean, it would be cool to go through a second loop of this game, because like I feel like I wish there was more of this game. It's really short. I say I wish there was more, but if there was more of it, I might not play it, because I like short games. I'm like a big fan of like working on a game on a weekend and being done with it. And that's one reason I played this game. Like right now, I've been playing Super Turbo online and working on my rank, and it's really exhausting. So when I'm done playing that, I typically will have a difficult game I'm playing and then like an easier game I'm playing. And like after I'm done playing Super Turbo, I can't be playing a shooter or something. I'm exhausted. So I want to play like an easier game like this one. Oh, one thing to point out, a point of randomness, that transformation scene's badass. A point of randomness in this game is how those wolves will jump out at you. Like depending on how you walk around on the screen, they'll hesitate and jump at different rates. And that means that in order to consistently get them to jump where you want them to be, you need to move through the wolf sections the same way every time. Like you need to, like one thing you can do on that last wolf section is you can go to the far right and just start jumping up. And that will make the two brown ones hesitate, and then the white one will jump first. Versus if you stand on the end, the two brown ones will go first. It sounds small, but I mean, when you're working on a playthrough, you want to manipulate all of the enemies so that they consistently spawn in the same way, so that you can, you know, just use your same strat. Yeah, and this boss here, he's kind of fun. I mean, I feel kind of bad for him. Like you just hit him and then he turns around and walks towards you. You hit him and he turns around and walks towards you. There's not much you can do. He's cool looking. He's got that buff guy 80s thing going on here. What's going on in the foreground here? This is like, where are we, in hell? I think we're in hell on this level, or I guess it would be Hades, right? Or what is it? Like the Greeks and the Romans got different names for hell. And I think they're named after the gods. Like, what is it? Zeus is Jupiter, I want to say. Is that right? I'm going to say something that ain't quite right if I keep talking. Let's see, there's a... Yeah, I don't know, man. But yeah, the Greek gods got Roman counterparts, but the names are different. And the name of where they live is also like the name of themselves. Oh, but hey, check out this cutscene. It's pretty cool. It's like a movie cutscene, kind of like a Hollywood movie or something. You know, kind of goes along with the kind of laid back, not taking itself too seriously vibe. There's like the 5 bosses of the 5 levels there. And like it looks like they're going to make out, but luckily they didn't have her kiss the dog, which I'm cool with. Instead, he takes his costume off and they all have a beer. And, you know, on that note, I think I'm going to sign off and maybe partake of some of the brewskis. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Peace out.